As Trey mentioned, my name is Derrick McDaniel, and I've been with this wonderful company since February of 2016. I truly love being a travel agent. I mean, I'm always going someplace. I always love doing things. I'm one of the few guys who love to shop, so I love to give my kids the gift of travel. I still do the material things, but I really enjoy giving them the gift of travel. I love to see their faces when I take them places they never been. And as Trey mentioned, my name, they call me Titanium because that's my status with Marriott. I love using the Marriott discount. I love using the Marriott perks. So that's why she called me Mr. Titanium. So that's enough about me, but let's go ahead and get this training going. So if you can see my screen, three types of currency. Now, can somebody tell me three types of currency? Just put it in the chat. Don't be shy. This is interactive training. I need your support. Okay. Nina said the Japanese yen, crypto. Okay. US dollar. All right. Okay. So everybody's hitting on the one of them. But if you look at things differently, money, yes, money is definitely a type of currency. But other types could be your time, because you can use your time to get what you want. Another currency is knowledge. You can use what you learn to get what you want, just like you can with money. Now, I got a question. So it's going to be a few questions through here. So be prepared to answer. Just type them in the chat box. Now, of money, time, and knowledge, which of the three can you live without and why? There's no right and wrong answer. Just type in the chat on and get some of your thoughts and see what you guys are thinking. Okay. Somebody says money. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. All right. Now, another question. People say they can live without money. Some people say they can live without knowledge. So the next question, of the three, time, money, and knowledge, which one do you feel is the most important? Knowledge. Okay. Money. Okay. Knowledge. Knowledge. Okay. That is true. Knowledge is power, and time is also power. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. So I got another question for you. When should you spend money? Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. Just want to get your thoughts on when you think you should spend money. Now, me, I'm a shopper, so that's kind of like a loaded question. Uh, but when you think you should spend money? Only if necessary. Only if necessary. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is my take on oops, when you should spend money. Money, you should spend it, know what you're good at, and pay someone to do what you're not good at. That's one of the best things you can do with money. Definitely treat yourself and definitely buy food and pay for healthcare. Definitely. But one of the big things with money, use it to pay people to do things that you're not good at. And for example, or not necessarily not good at, but just to make your life easier. So we're going to use my fence for an example. I had my house built in 2020, and I was getting quotes from 3,000 to like 9,000 just to put a wooden fence around my yard, just so my little Shih Tzu can have some place to run. Um, so I was like, I'm not spending that much money. I went to YouTube University, saw how you put in the fences, saw what I needed to buy. And then I went to Home Depot, priced it out. I'm like, okay, I can buy everything I need for about 1,000, and I can just save a couple thousand to just do it on the weekends. Little did I know it wasn't going to be that easy. So after heavy convincing from my family, I went with the guy who did it for 3,500. Now he showed up with like four guys. They started on a Friday, and by Sunday my fence was done. And now my intention was to do it on the weekends, every weekend, just work on it. There was no way I could have did that fence, not in a timely manner. And then when I looked and saw how they brought out materials, I got a pretty big F-150, so I'm like, I can go to Home Depot, get the stuff. I looked at what they brought. I was like, there's no way I could have did it. So I would have saved a lot of money, but I would have wasted a lot of time. So in that case, it was worth me spending my money to get the fence done. So I got another question for you. What should you do with your knowledge? Anybody? Yes, definitely share with others. Definitely, definitely. Apply it to life situations. That's a good one. Use it to propel yourself forward and share with others to bring them along too. Expand on it. Okay, good thoughts, good thoughts. All right, so let's go and see what we got here. Use it to make money. Oh, yeah, Ty, I like your mindset. All right, so let's look at this picture. So look at the little guy on the left. He's so happy watering flowers. And then if you look to the right, you see what appears to be a father and son. They're watering flowers as well. They both have smiles on their face as they're watering flowers. So let's go to this slide. So you see the gentleman here, the stick image. It's a gentleman holding a hose and he's watering something. So imagine that being knowledge. So number one, that's what's being watered. And number two, that's the man controlling the hose or controlling the water. So between one and two, which number receives the greatest benefits of the water no matter what happens? So put in the chat one or two. Which one do you think always benefits no matter what? Come on, give me some ones or twos. Let me see what you're thinking. Two, okay. Two. Okay, we got a couple of twos. Okay, twos, twos. Okay. All righty. So we got a pretty sharp group here because it is number two. No matter what happens, the water has to flow through the hose, which is in that man's hand. Same thing with knowledge. Whatever you learn is going to flow through you. And if you don't share it, because all that guy has to do is just a flick of his wrist and he can cut the water off. Now, whether it's a little water trickling through or he got a full steam going through the hose, it always has to go through the hoses in his hand. And that means same thing, whatever he learns, whether he learns a little or he learns a lot. As long as he keeps his mind open and he's willing to share, which is coming out the other end of the hose, he can continue to learn things and share his knowledge. But if at any point he decides to say, I'm just going to shut this off, same thing with things you learn, with how you learn how to do some different things, or how most people say, take your time to learn how to make money or learn how to do different things. If you don't share what you learn, you won't see any blessings. So I always say, be a blessing and share what you learn. Um, you can't hold things in your hand and ask for more if you're not willing to let go of what you're holding into your hand. So definitely be a blessing and share what you learn. All right. So next question. What should you do with your time? Any thoughts on that one? Use it wisely. Use it wisely. Learn and gain knowledge. I like those answers. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to jump right to it. Just like money, you should not blow or waste your time. You don't want to blow or waste your money. So you want to take advantage of your time the same way you want to do with your money. Now, another question. Of these three, which one do you think is the most important? Based off everything we just went through. Time, time, time. People say time. Okay, let's skip on in. All three of them are connected to each other, and all three are equally important. So, can someone give me some examples of how time, knowledge, and money are connected? Any examples? Any takers? You could take your time to learn to gain knowledge so you can make more money or save money. I like that, Brenda. So let's go ahead and jump right on in since you said that. So pay for things that can free up your time so you can learn more. You could take time to learn more so you know how to spend the money you make. And then know when and how to spend your money so you don't waste your time. Now, what do I spend money on for my travel business? Business cards. I definitely do business cards. I give business cards everywhere I go. I leave them in the hotels, rental cars. If I'm standing in line, I'm passing them out. If I see magazines, I'm sticking them inside the magazines. Every place I go, I leave business cards. Marketing. I spend money on marketing. I got card magnets and I boost certain Facebook posts. Or like if I'm doing a certain group trip, I'll boost a post on Facebook. Websites. For some of my clients with group trips, usually some of the larger group trips, I'll build them a website and then I use that to promote my travel business. So even after the trip is done, or even if the clients do not take a trip, I still keep the website going and I show it to other individuals. And I'm actually going to show you an example today of one where the client didn't take the trip, but someone actually saw that website today and they reached out to me and they want to do a trip. So I sent the person a text and let them know that someone saw the website I made for them. Tips. I'm a big tipper. Everywhere I go, I leave tips. For me not to tip, you really have to screw up the service. But when I leave the tip, I also leave my business card. I might leave a flyer from a special trip I'm doing. I might even leave information on how to become a travel agent. No matter what, when I leave the tip, I leave some of my information with that individual. And then I also pay referral fees. So as I mentioned before, like the young lady whose website I made, someone saw her website and reached out to me. They don't know her, but because it's the site I made for her, I literally just sent her a text about 30 minutes ago, said, hey, someone saw the site I made for you. If they book this trip, you're going to get a referral fee. I do that. I pay referral fees, or I may give a vacation certificate, just to as my way of saying thank you. And then now some of my clients last year, this young lady, I think she got close to 500 in referral fees, but that was because she referred somebody. They took a group cruise. I think my commission was about 4 grand. I had no problem giving her 500, but that wasn't the first time she got a referral fee either. She's constantly referring people to me. So she knows that if someone takes the trip and they come to my way and they take it, she's going to get a referral fee from me. So I do that a lot. I don't mind sharing. I also give gifts and t-shirts. So like if it's like their anniversary, or like I have several repeat clients for like their birthdays, I might send them a $25 Visa gift card. I might send them something special on their anniversary. Or like if they're traveling and it's a special group trip, I may have them t-shirts made, and then I may have my business information placed on the t-shirt, but it'll be promoting whatever they're doing. So if it's a special girls trip or anniversary trip, I'll make a t-shirt. And all this stuff here I claim on my taxes as a business expense. Bottles of champagne. I give bottles of champagne or wine, depending on what the person likes to drink. So sometimes, depending on where they're staying, I may call ahead and have that waiting in the room for them. Or if they're on a cruise, I may have it delivered to them on a cruise ship. But I usually do that as my way of saying thank you, or just to give them little added perk or a little surprise, just to make them remember me as their travel agent and just to give them a warm, fuzzy feeling. That way they will share their experience they had with me. And then I also do transportation upgrades. Um, if I'm booking a trip for someone and I see that, the standard shared transportation is maybe $36. And if I see where it's an upgrade for maybe another 25 or 30, and if I'm getting like $400 or $500 commission off of this trip, I'm just going to pay for the upgrade for them and surprise them because they're not going to be expecting it. Or like for one example, I had a couple that was going to Paris and they knew they was going to have to get transportation. So the guy, he was standing at the luggage claim, waiting on them with the little sign. And they said he walked them outside, and she said she was surprised because he went, reached, and opened the door of a Mercedes S-Class. She said never in her wildest dreams did she imagine she would have a ride in a Mercedes S-Class. Now, in her mind, this was something really expensive, but to upgrade to the private transportation was only $75. So for $75, I gave her and her husband a great memory, but they also referred other people to me and they bragged about how the service that they got with that surprise. And then I also had them a bottle of champagne for their anniversary as well. So just little things you can do. Now, what do I spend my time doing for travel business? Learning whatever I can. The more, like if it's a client going to a destination that I've personally never been or never trained on, I'm going online, I'm doing research, I'm looking up those ideas. Or if they're saying, you know what, I want to do some special activities. I don't want to do the normal activities. I get into Viator and see what activities is available, start researching or start checking with some of our other vendors for activities to see what they can do. Then I take the time to talk and listen to my clients. That's really important. A lot of my clients I have communications with over email, but those are some of the ones who I've dealt with multiple times. Now, even them, sometimes I'll reach out and I call and say, hey, let me just make sure I understand, talk with them, get a feel of what they want, listen to what they're telling you. If they're saying, hey, this is a special anniversary trip, or if you got a guy and if he sounds like he's in the doghouse, or he's like, man, this trip got to be the best trip ever, you might want to give him some suggestions on, hey, what you can do to upsell it. Well, maybe you can have a special dinner. Maybe you can do this. Maybe you can do that. Just listen to what your clients are telling you and what they want. If they say that they have kids, you're not going to want to give them a resort that's a party resort. Or if they say they want adults only, you're not going to want to give them a resort that has kid friendly options. So you just want to make sure you take your time and listen to your clients. Also, I take the time to hop on Zoom and answer questions. So, like if it's a group, even if it's just a couple of people, I still hop on Zoom, answer the questions, go over the trip information. But that's very helpful, especially when you have large group trips. Just hop on Zoom, give everybody information, answer their questions. But it also, too, is let them know that you are a real person. A lot of people who I deal with, they're in other states, other areas, and don't know me from Adam. And I just felt it's important that they get to see a face with the person that they're giving their money to or their business. Then I have a lot of older folks. So I do a lot of the check-ins for them. So like if they're taking flights the day before, I may check in for them. Or I have some clients who travel and work more than I do, so they really don't have time to do the check-in. So I do that for them. But yeah, just take the time, do the check-ins for them. I set up cruise accounts. They're spending accounts on the cruise ship. They give me the information. I put that in for them. So just little things that I do with my time for my clients. Now, I follow up with my clients before, during, and after the trip. If they're scheduled to leave tomorrow at 7 a.m., 5:30 a.m., I'm shooting the text, hey, just making sure you're at the airport, making sure you're good, you got everything. And then while they're there, if they leave on Monday and they're staying a Saturday, I might hit them up Monday, make sure they got there okay, shoot them a text maybe Wednesday and Thursday, just saying, hey, I'm just checking to see how things going, just seeing how you like the trip. Or like if they want to do a special excursion, I might hit them up after the special excursion. Or like this one couple, they want to have dinner on the beach. I hit them up the next day after they had dinner on the beach just to see how it was. And then also too, like a lot of the vendors, they have to do certain things to get their transportation to come back to the airport. So I just might shoot them a text, hey, don't forget to schedule your return transportation. Don't forget your transportation is going to be at the hotel at this time. Just little things like that. I don't really bug them, but just enough to, keep them aware of what they need to know. And then I tell all my clients to text me when they arrive, whether they male or female. If they're scheduled to land at 6 p.m., I give them about an hour or so, get to the resort. And if I haven't heard from them about maybe an hour and a half, no more than 2 hours after the time to get there, I know they might have got there, had a few drinks, which may be the case in most times, but I want to make sure they got there safely. So I'm sending them a text and say, hey, I know I said give me a text. You probably got slipped away from your time. Just check and make sure you got to the resort safely. Check and make sure you got on the transportation safely, making sure your room was what you expected. So I just want to make sure you're doing good. So I do that with males and females, no matter who they are. And because of that, a lot of my clients are females and they were referred by males because I reached out and I checked on them. They said, he went through all this and he checking on me. So I know if he books this trip for you, he's going to make sure you good. So they refer their sisters, they refer their girlfriends, they refer the important women in their life. So that's just something I do for them just to make sure they're doing well. And then this is most important. Take the time to acknowledge the significant others, especially if they are married. Like I said, most of my clients are females. So at times I have to have conversation with the males, or if the client is calling me and, asking for questions and we're on the phone a lot, I'll be like, hey, let me talk to your husband real quick and see if he has any questions. Or I make sure to acknowledge the husband. Even if I haven't spoke with them and I'm mainly dealing with the wife, but I know the husband has been present, when I get the client intake information, I get the email address and cell phone for both the husband and wife. So let's just say if I'm speaking with the wife and she's, saying she wants to do a special spa treatment, but she doesn't know if her husband will go for it. I may just reach out to the husband and say, hey, I'm the travel agent booking with your trip. Let me just reach out to you, see if you have any questions or concerns, or if there's anything that I need to do for you for this trip, just to reach out and acknowledge that individual. And then during that conversation, I may mention, well, you want to do ATV, you want to do this, but your wife mentioned something about a spa. So I can send you some options for that, but she really kept talking about this spot. So a lot of times that's how I break the ice with dealing with the significant others. So females, if you're working with male clients and they have significant others, just make sure you acknowledge them. And the same thing with males, make sure you acknowledge the male spouses as well. All right. So what does knowledge do for my travel business? It lets my clients know I'll always be professional. This is real big because even when my clients give me the blues, I want to say maybe 2018, maybe 2019, I coined the phrase with Nina, my brown liquor cap, my brown liquor clients, because after this group of people I dealt with, it was just like back to back to back. I just felt like I needed a drink. But no matter what, I stayed professional with them. And even though they never booked a trip with me, they referred others. And then this one individual called and she said, hey, this person said that they was working with you. They didn't take the trip, but they said you're a good travel agent. And then I was like, but they really didn't take the trip. Or, it was short conversations. And the individual said, I know my sister. I know her personality. If she says you good and knowing how she is and you was able to deal with that, oh, you got my business. So just always be professional. Even though you might want to say certain things to them, just still be professional no matter what. Also, let clients know they can trust me. So I try to share everything I know about the trip, everything where they're going, give them all the information up front, let them know that they can trust me. Provide my clients with the destination knowledge, links, and videos prior to their trips. A lot of our vendors have, links that you can send, flyers that you can send. Sometimes I might send them information from Google or just different things. I make sure they know everything that they have to do when they get there. And then for those that really know me, just sharing knowledge energizes me. Helping others gives me energy. That's just how I am. So I love to share knowledge. I love to help others. I love to enjoy the energy. So that is it for this training, but I do have one thing to show you. My next training is going to be 4 types of mindsets, and 4 types of clients. You're going to have some clients who are considered in park mode. You have clients and people with mindsets in reverse. You're going to have a bunch of neutral clients, and then you're going to have a bunch of drive clients and personalities where those are the ones who, hey, they're ready to go get it. They're ready to book the trip. So I'm going to do a little training on that for the next one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show that one website that I made. and then answer any questions you may have. Let me stop sharing and bring up the website. All right, go back to share my screen. All right, so if you can see my screen, this is the client that I was mentioning earlier. Uh, Her and her husband, they wanted to do an anniversary cruise. They were going to Haiti, but they heard a little bad information about the area in Haiti, and then they decided to not take the trip. Um, Even though they didn't take the trip, I'm still paying for this website. I think I paid like $80 for the whole year. So I'm just going to keep it going and then just let people, different people see it. So as I get different groups, I'm actually working with a high school. Well, actually my high school, Cooley High School, one of the years that graduated, they're looking to put together a special senior, I think it's like their 40-year anniversary. It's 40 or 45. So once we get all the details, I'm going to build them a website like this with all the information. So I put this together, I share with clients. And like I said, I haven't spoken to this client in months, but I did reach out to him today after this individual said, "Hey, I came across your website. I saw what you did for them. I want you to do the same thing for me. Right now, I'm looking at about maybe 40 people. I want the same thing." So I put this together. So this was for a cruise. So I put together the cruise pricing, the different flight options that they could see, for what they wanted to do, the flight times, the cost, the estimated cost for main cabin, versus Delta Comfort Plus because they wanted Delta flights and just all the different information for there. And then here, the traveler information. So here I have them, I created jot forms that they fill out to give me all their information, information for the documentation that they need. Like several people had questions about passports. For cruises, passports aren't required, but it's recommended. So I put that on their form. Let me see, had some people in group trips they wanted to know more about becoming a travel agent. Um, so I just did different things for them. So I got pictures for them. Here's the information for the cruise that they were taking. I put some videos of the specific ship that they was going to be on for some different activities. So they click on videos and see it. Um, Once they got into Haiti, there were certain activities that they wanted the group to participate in as one. So I put the videos of those together. And then just the different things that they wanted to do. They want to do the zip lining, the dragon tail coaster, and then just some more pictures of the couple, just so people can see them having fun. So that's just some of the things I spend money on. Like I said, that was like $80 a year. But because of that, I now have someone reaching out today who wants another trip because they saw that website. And that individual didn't even know this person. They just came across my website and was like, "Hey, do the same thing for me." But that's it for my training. So I guess we can take the time now to answer any questions. Anybody got any questions? Anything you want to know? Anything you saw that you want me to elaborate on? So now's the time to ask any questions that you have. Well, no questions.
I have a question.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Margie. So this is my first training class that I've taken, and so um, I'm nervous a little bit. But anyway, in regards to, I like the website that you did. So my question is, so with the website, is one website that you created that one website for that one couple,
Mhm.
and since they didn't take the trip, you still use it for advertisement? You're
That is
saying?
correct. Mhm. Yep, I
Oh.
still use it for advertisement because, even though they didn't take it, I paid for it. I paid for a year, so I'm gonna use it. And I usually end up keeping websites that I create for people at least a year after their trip. And I usually let them know that and that I'm using it for marketing purposes. And like I
Mhm.
said, even though they didn't take the trip, someone saw it, they reached out to me today. Like I said, literally about an hour or so ago, I sent her a text saying, "Hey, hope you're doing well. Just let you know that website I made for you. Someone saw it, they want a trip. If they book and take the trip, you will be getting a referral fee because they saw the website I made for you." So yeah, I
Okay.
usually keep it for marketing purposes.
So do you normally, as far as like I had my family, it was 18 of us and we went to South Africa. I
Hmm.
created a closed Facebook page.
Hmm.
What do you use besides the website? What do you usually do to communicate your information? Like, do you have a certain platform you normally use?
Normally, if it's a group trip, like I said, either I might do a Zoom call or, like I said, in most cases, I do a website. If it's more than I usually do it at least 15 or 20 people. I usually put together the website. And then usually on my websites that I make, I put in links so they can submit their payments and their credit card authorization forms and all that kind of stuff. So it's usually just a one-stop shop when I do that. I haven't done a closed Facebook group yet, but I usually, like I said, do the website and Zoom meetings and group emails.
Okay, and one last thing. Okay, because I did the Zoom since it was 16 of us. And then so what do you normally do for your smaller groups?
Same thing. Now, I might not do the website, but I'll still hop on Zoom and I still do the group emails. So, you know,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, because like usually for a smaller group, really I look at the commission. So for this one, like I said, it was only $80 to do that website. So if I'm booking a trip and I'm only getting $200 in commission, I'm not going to spend 80 on the website. Now, if it's multiple rooms and it's at least maybe 500, at least 500, I might consider doing them a website.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And then I see a question, is it hard to build a website for your clients? Nope, it's not hard. GoDaddy pretty much walks you through it. I'm sort of like a computer geek anyway, so I like doing that kind of stuff, but GoDaddy will walk you through step by step on how to build a website. And it says, what host do you create? Yep, I use GoDaddy. That's the one I've been using lately. I usually pick the websites or the name that is the least expensive that I can pay for a year. So like for that one I just showed you, it was anniversarycruise.info. For some reason they just had a special on .info and it came with the website, it came with an email address, and it was something else for a year for like $80. So I just jumped on it. So like when they clicked on the link for more information, I had a special email coming in just for that particular trip.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have to get permission from your client to do a website?
Well, I usually let them know, like I told this client, hey, I'm making your website. They want the website. And then I
Okay,
told them after this was over, I'm still going to use it for marketing. So I let them know that up front.
okay, good deal.
Mhm. So any other questions?
I have one. Um, what platform do you use to accept payments?
All right. So I have a couple. I have a jot form where I have a credit card authorization, and then that jot form goes straight to my Square account. And then I also have not Travel Joy, Travelify.
Travelify? Okay, I
Trav,
have Travelify. Okay.
yeah, Travfi. And that's the one I use pretty much consistently because they put in their credit card authorization information. And then a lot of my clients, they want like the receipt of when they paid, but then also too, I like the TradFi because it shows the IP address, it shows the time, it shows the information. And even though they do that, I still have a note on mine saying, hey, even though you're using this system, still you have to email me a picture of your driver's license. And I think I tell them they got to do it within 24 hours. And if I don't get the picture of the license within 24 hours, that reservation is subject to be canceled because I still want proof, even though TradFi, like I said, it shows the IP address, all their information. I still make them send me a picture of their driver's license and I merge it all together. And then I like it because after a certain period of time, you can't see their credit card information anymore, but you still see the information from the computer, the time and date they did it. That way, if it's ever disputed, you have proof. And since we're going there, I might as well just tell you why I do that. I had a client back in 2017, early 2018. They booked the trip and I was using PayPal at the time. They booked the trip, canceled the trip, and then within an hour of canceling the trip, they called PayPal to try to dispute the charge, thinking they would get their money back quicker. So PayPal just froze the money for 3 weeks for them to do their investigation. I showed the emails, I showed the text message, I showed the itinerary, and PayPal said, "Yep, I'm on your side. Here's your money back." Uh, Now, fast forward another trip, same scenario. The individual took the trip, actually took the trip this time, but then canceled the trip 30 days after they took it. The other trip, well, I want to say maybe it was like $1,200, $1,400. This trip was close to 52, 5,300, except they disputed it after the trip was over. Because they disputed it, PayPal sided with them and snatched $5,000 out my account to reimburse them. So I went through the same rigmarole, proof of the text, pictures, emails, all this communication. And in this case, they said because it wasn't a tangible good, they couldn't, back me up. And I'm like, this is no different than the other one. So that's why I go through great lengths now. It's like, hey, I got to talk to you on the phone. I need you to email me a picture of driver's license. I'm not letting another 5,000 get snatched out my account. Luckily, it was in there, but it wasn't there to give back to them for somebody being dishonest. Um, and no, okay, I see the question. So it's best not to use PayPal. The funny thing with that is I fought with PayPal for roughly 8 to 12 months, and Nina can probably tell you about that because I was distraught. Like I said, just see 5,000 just sucked out your account. PayPal now has changed their policies to they allow for intangible goods because they were still in the mindset of old trip tickets where you go to AAA, you get a trip ticket booklet, you mail it to folks. They wasn't thinking of the digital ages, but now PayPal is set up to where they protect people for that. And it's actually when you sign up for them, protect the business people against now. Any other questions? All right, you take the time to learn to gain knowledge. Any other questions? Still got a few more minutes, but if you guys are good, then I'm good. Oh, well, I just had something to come in. How did having the driver license help? So basically, the driver license helps because when they put the information on TradFi, if the picture, I make them put their driver's license number in TradFi, and the same thing with my jot form. And then I tell them the address on the driver's license has to match the address on the car being used. And then that's my way of guaranteeing that, hey, this person, they sent this, I got the email, I did everything I had to do to protect myself to confirm that this wasn't a fraudulent charge. And if they don't want to send their driver's license, then I just tell them, hey, I can't do the trip for you because I got to confirm who you are. The screen froze. Did you get your money back? Nope. Policies have changed and, they apologize. They didn't really apologize. They just said they've updated their policies. So I said, nah, I'm still not coming back. Yes, you have to protect yourself. And Travelify keeps the driver's license. They don't keep the driver's license picture. They keep the driver's license number. There's actually a PDF that you can download. It'll show the date, the time they made their transaction, the location they made the transaction from, the IP address, everything that you would need to trace back to that individual. And it also indicates the amount that they said they wanted their card to be charged. But like I said, I have them email me the picture of the driver's license. That way I can physically see it. And then that comes in very important and handy, especially if you do within 21-day travel. Anytime I've done that, I just download PDF from TradFi, attach the pictures of their driver's license or passport, email that over to Archer, and I haven't had any issues covering it since. Do I make web pages for people? You mean you talking about for clients or for other travel agents? If it's for clients, definitely, but I also do web pages for other folks. So, I mean, I like helping individuals. That's where I used to get my energy from. So, yep, I do web pages for the clients. And like if other travel agents need help, like we have landing pages for like the agents who want to do recruiting and team building. We've helped them build pages. So, yes, I can help with that. Any other questions? Ready? Give another couple seconds, but if there aren't any more questions, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to sit with me today. Like I said, the people speak, use certain keywords to tie into what they want. Like some clients, you can't give them too much. Some clients, you have to give them all the information. Like real quick, I had this one client when she was talking about making her payment, because she was going to pay the deposit for everybody, and it was going to be about $7,000. So she was determining which card to use. And during the course of the conversation, I heard her say under her breath, she said, well, if I use this card, I'm going to exceed my 30% of my credit usage. So I'm not going to use that card. I'm going to use this one. So because she said that, I automatically knew off rip, I got to be very detail specific with this woman. I can't miss a beat. I got to dot every I. And sure enough, that's how the conversations went with her. It was very thorough, very detailed conversations. So, but the next training is going to go how to read people and how to look into their personalities. So, but if there is no more questions, I'm gonna let you guys have the rest of your Saturday back. So thank you for coming. And this call is officially over. See you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.